Hi, everyone. So, we have just entered the month of Heavenly Mother in her mystery school. It's our 8th month. And we come to know and to cultivate a relationship with the Heavenly Mother, the Queen of Heaven, celestial dignity. So, what I wanted to speak with you about today is nobility, dignity, confidence, and safety. So throughout her mystery school, and one of the things I've been speaking about in these videos is this practice of softening and sinking down and really gathering and claiming residency in ourselves. This crucial and simple but revolutionary practice of coming home truly, deeply, fully, and being willing to be an incarnated woman, to tend to what it is to be woman, to honor what's here, and to really learn the arts of how to be, how to move with power, how to move with love, generosity, how to be in truth, how to protect ourselves, all these things. And a lot of that comes from this central poise, which is to sink down, soften back, and find the brow, the heart, and the womb, or the sacred bowl, in line, a pillar in the center of our being. We developed that for the whole first 7 months of the school. And now in Heavenly Mother, we are looking towards the crown of that. This starry crowning of that poise, which is the elevation of dignity into a deep feminine presence, the elevation of nobility into deep feminine presence, and how that keeps us open and safe at the same time. So, nobility, posturally, what it looks like is that rather than being up and out of ourselves and in all directions, or up and out and over, pushing into, infiltrating, conquering the world around us in order to feel confident or display confidence or to express some version of the queen, of dignity. Rather than that, we're actually settling down into the throne. The underlying principle is that true power sits in itself and has nothing to do. It doesn't need to do anything. And as women, we are created to be a conduit, to be a confluence of powers greater than us. If we soften, sit in them, and allow them to infuse, nourish us. So this alignment in this school of finding power, finding presence that's just in residency, that just exists, is a way of finding a power that then can move from the center of itself, that then can move in true response, in true expression of what's inside of us, of what we believe, of what we desire. It's not a response. It's not a reaction. It's not a push and a pull. And it's not an attempt to be something more than what we think we are. Because in this, we are all that we are and more. Because we're sitting in the throne of power. We're sitting in power. Very different than needing to rise up and over. So nobility in that has to do with coming into this residency, being willing to settle back and wait for the right action, the right movement, to know ourselves, to cultivate ourselves. Nobility comes then from also being willing to lift up, to broaden, widen, to open to life and the above. That there is, we talk about the starry origins in the school and the celestial and the remembrance of, in a way, where we come from. That we have starry origins. That's not an esoteric principle. That's the reality. We're all made of stars. The earth is a heavenly body. And to remember that we are, as the same time as we are incarnate, and we are here, and we are going to do this thing, and we're going to be with the mundane, and we're going to care for what we're here to care for. And we are more than that. There is more to us in spirit, in truth. And that provides, that bestows a nobility, a levity, a certain amount of exaltation to our experience, as well as mercy, right, and comfort. So when you're cultivating nobility in your being, and dignity and confidence as a woman, and you don't want it to be something that you're putting on, something that you've learned to do based on how culture has come to show and model confidence and power, when you want to come to something that lives inside of you, that is truly you, and that cannot leave you no matter what circumstance, no matter what happens in circumstance, I would invite you to look towards the nobility of your being, to gather yourself here, to sink down, to be in this body, to be this woman, and from that place, to just ever so slightly lift your head, open your face, open your chest, open your throat to the above, to all that is, to the magnificence that you are. It's subtle, but it is, when we incline towards that, I call it the descending current, it's the descending grace, it's the descending mercy and the starry beauty of all that we are in this wide, Queen of Heaven way, right? So finding nobility through a gentle, just lifting your chin just a little bit. And what that is a nobility and a dignity that's nourishing. It doesn't require effort. So we're finding this posture inside, this central pillar of strength and alignment that holds us. And we're resting into it rather than trying to put it out and hold on to it and make it happen. We're letting it unfold through us. And even in this opening to nobility, we're allowing it to be a nourishing experience. So the nobility is, again, just a way of us absorbing all that creation has for us, to nourish us, to carry us forward, to give us strength, to give us courage, confidence, and pride in the world, in the life that is in front of us, regardless of circumstance. This kind of nobility has a receptivity deeply in it. It's not hardened. It is receiving. It is receiving from the above. It's receiving from the below. It's receiving all that you are and all that you need in order to be in the fullness of yourself as a woman. To sit right here and not need to move. To sit here and to know that a crown will descend because you are noble in your nature. You are noble by your choosing. Has nothing to do with money, with what's happening, with whether you're in a relationship or not, whether your job's paying well, whether or not you've done a great job, you think, raising your kids, whatever. It's in a moment. And then you change what you're bringing to your moment, right? We're looking towards nobility and dignity and confidence as a state of being that cannot leave you, that you can foster, that you can cultivate and gather to you by your own magnetism, by your own simple choice, and without needing to change circumstance, right? These are really simple attunements that can change your state and then change the world, that the realm that unfolds around you. You are the center pole around which all of your realm circles. Your well-being is its well-being. Your nobility and your dignity imparts nobility and dignity to all around you. So looking towards dignity and nobility as a state of being that you can bring. And what that means then is that you have the capacity, the potential to ennoble the people and the circumstances around you. Because you are resourced, because you are open here, you're vulnerable, right? In this form of nobility, this lifting of your chin in a way, this opening to the above, what happens is your heart and your throat become a little vulnerable. They're open. They're a little exposed. And in that, there are two things that can happen. Your own guardianship hopefully will strengthen around you, noticing that, okay, I'm in power in this place, and I'm also vulnerable. That makes both of them true, right? Power and vulnerability want to come together so that they don't imbalance each other. They make each other true. So this receptive and vulnerable nobility, that is what ennobles others. That is the kind of regal bearing, the kind of dignity, the kind of personal power that can exist without becoming entitled, without conquering others, without pushing them away, without intimidating them, right? So looking for that, and that is an inclination towards receiving refinement, receiving grace, and letting it absorb into your being. Recognizing that you are a dwelling place for grace. You are a dwelling place of beauty. You are a dwelling place of what is noble because you choose so. Because you align yourself towards that, and it can happen in a moment. So as you're facing your world, as things are happening, and you're looking for, how do I feel confident? How do I feel proud of myself? How do I feel like I have dignity in a situation that may or may not actually be reflecting your dignity back to you, right? We're facing all sorts of things as women, as human beings. And what I don't want, or what I wish for you, is that you have a sense of nobility and dignity that can't be taken away, that you can take refuge in. And that, for me, for us in the school, comes from this very simple practice. It's postural, it's energetic, it's just an awareness. You can explore it on your own, but that you are here. You have become a location for your destiny and for grace to descend, to find you, to rest on your skin. You open to it. We are capable of such things. We are magnetic beings. Magnetism meaning not only what may be around us, what we may want to call in or create, but magnetism for that which is beyond us, for the heights, the lofty heights of our own being. And that, when you embody it in a receptive, vulnerable way, you make space, you invite others to join you, right? Your partners, your children, the people that you work with, right? Your students. There's an invitation in it. You're utilizing feminine magnetism and the power of receptivity at the same time that you're stepping in fully to personal power, presence, unapologetic presence, and deep self-knowing. So in honor of Heavenly Mother, the Queen of Heaven, and all the celestial that we're exploring this month in Heavenly Mother in the school, I invite you into your own nobility. I invite you into the simplicity of it, and to tend gently to the places or the ways in which you've felt disrespected, you've felt worthless, you've felt like you've failed. Notice that. And if it is a collapse inside of you, if it's a dimming, this is what these things usually are. We tend to curl in on it. We tend to dim. Like there's residual impacts of being disrespected, of disrespecting ourselves, of betraying ourselves, of, losing sight of what we were actually created to be. So when you find that, or if you find that as you turn towards nobility and dignity inside of yourself, and confidence, and pride, divine pride, pride in what you were created to be. If you find that, just remember that there is a simple, just open. If it's here, see if you just open a little, subtle. We're not forcing. Deep feminine doesn't force. She doesn't come in with agenda. She comes in with invitation. Nobility comes in with invitation. Would you like to join me in this noble state? Would you like to join me in dignity and in right relations, right? And in openness to grace. So if you do find that you're collapsed, you just meet wherever you are and just see what happens when you invite the littlest bit of grace in, just the slightest incline of your chin, just the most gentle opening of your chest, with an awareness that you're opening to receive something. This is not coming into your armor. This is not, getting ready for whatever's happening, making sure you make a good show of it. This is saying, I need grace. I need nobility to infuse me. I need support. I need to be aligned so that I can walk in dignity. So finding your need, the prayer inside of it, so that the nobility becomes true. It becomes true from the depth of you. And it becomes something that you cannot lose, that can't be taken away from you, and that you can always return to. It becomes a place of safety for you. A place of divine pride. A place that lets you sit in your power, in your throne, in all that you are, without needing to do anything, so that when you do move from this place, you move from the truth. You move from nourishment. You move according to your own agency, not because of all this conditioning, or all that's wanted of you, all that's put on you. That's nobility. That's the freedom of being able to sit deeply and receive grace and be full, be open, and be strong. So, I know that you were created to be drenched in grace, to be adorned with all the gems of nobility and dignity, just because. This is not a question of worthiness. So I invite you, if you want to join with us in our month of Heavenly Mother and our turning towards our nobility, our asking what it is to be graced by nobility rather than to effort for it, what it is to be adorned in dignity and to walk with divine pride. I invite you to just open to what that is for you. What is this? What is it for you to become the noble pillar that ennobles everything around you and everyone? Blessed be.